completed 29 of our 30 days of leafy greens. We've made it through almost the entire month, incorporating more leafy greens into our diet. And today I've chosen again to have my favorite sandwich from Subway, including lots of leafy greens and piling it full of vegetables. And the reason I brought this Subway sandwich back is because I've had some comments in the past that I want to address in this video. And the first comment came from my sweet and precious niece, Lori Ann, just a few years ago. My sister Lisa and I took our girls on a trip, and on the trip we stopped by Subway to get some sandwiches. And as we sat down to the table, in all seriousness, my niece looked across the table at me and said, "Aunt Lori, you do realize you're just eating vegetables and bread, right?" The implication being that if I didn't have meat and cheese on that sandwich, it probably wasn't a real sandwich. But I answered her and I said, "Yes, Lori Ann, I realize I'm just having vegetables and bread, and I love it." So I want to impress upon you that you don't have to have a sandwich piled high with meats and cheeses. Maybe you can cut some of those back a little bit and add more leafy greens and more vegetables to that bread. And make sure it's whole grain bread. So that brings me to my second point, which is the last time I made the video about my sub sandwich. One of the comments was, "Oh, all the vegetables great, but ooh, all that bread." And I said, yes, it's whole grain bread. So that is the point I want to make to you now, is that you don't have to be afraid of bread. Whole grain bread is really good for you. It has lots of fiber and a lot of nutrients that are needed in a well-balanced diet. Now, your pastries, your donuts, the kind of breadsticks they bring out to you for appetizers when you go to a restaurant slathered in butter, no, not that kind of bread. I want you to remember this saying, the whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. You want to choose whole grain breads. Those are the ones that have the nutrients still left intact, that haven't been stripped away in processing, and all the fiber is still there. So again, you don't have to be afraid to eat bread. Just remember, you want it to be whole grain bread. And one last note about whole grain bread. Even if you're eating whole grain bread, if you're eating tons of whole grain bread to the exclusion of all the other food groups, yeah, that can be bad for you. You want it in conjunction with a well-rounded diet. You want a wide variety of whole grains, fruits and vegetables, beans, peas, and lentils. So you're not just gorging on bread all day long, because even if it's whole grain bread, you don't want to just have that and leave out all the other stuff. So remember, you can have whole grain bread. It is not the enemy. It is something that is really good for you. So the next time you find yourself at your favorite sandwich place, remember to opt for whole grain bread, pile that sandwich full of vegetables, and try it without the meat and cheese and see how satisfied you can be. And don't forget to keep uploading those pictures and keep eating those leafy greens.